Hello, everyone, and welcome to Animazing Collector Circle Chat group podcast, whatever you want to call us, really. We got some fantastic Patreons, members, whatever you want to call them, too, here. And yeah, you've probably seen a few of them, or all of them, actually all of them before, but let's introduce them once again, just in case if this is your first time. So we'll go with Brandon here.
Hey everyone, I am Brandon, and I have been an anime collector for a very long time, collecting anime, Japanese Blu-rays, US Blu-rays and DVDs, some anime figures, a lot of Final Fantasy video games, merchandise, that sort of thing. Um, but I just want to introduce myself and thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm Domino. I've been here since day one, as far as I know. I don't think I've missed one. Anyways, we are. Uh,
Well,
as you all know from previous episodes, I collect a lot from manga to video games to figures and anime. Just it's variety. I'm not quite like strong in the pockets where I have a whole Aniplex collection, but I try my best. And
you
I'm
gotta
also
work on
happy.
that.
I know I need more money.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, that's good. Good. My name is Roger. I run Animazing Collection and Company. It's a pleasure working with everybody. Even though I do collect a certain amount from manga, art books, cards, magazines, documentation, all that, I kind of specialize in anime collecting. I particularly like DVDs, Blu-rays, imports. I started having a fondness for collecting laser discs. Something about them makes me want to buy more. As that's when I've been buying different collections of that. So I've been kind of, not doing the modern stuff for a couple, like a month or so because I'm trying to buy all these other anime collections. But I'll be up and running again pretty soon. But that's what I do.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now, if we can just get Koyomi.
Yep, I'm Koyomi, and I collect a variety of things anime, manga, figures. By far, my favorite has become figures. And yeah, I don't know. You can see, for example, there.
Whoa.
This is his art place.
He's like, I
Yep.
gotta show
Hiding the
up.
paradise right over there.
But yeah, no, that's about it for me.
Cool, cool.
You always have beautiful displays. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you for sharing. As of myself, I help run this podcast. My name's Ed, and I collect a little bit of everything. Mostly focus on Blu-rays, DVDs, whatnot, as I believe those are the best form of collecting. But again, figures and whatnot are not anything less. So please keep continuing to collect those. But with our topic today, we have an interesting combination setup in a way. What's interesting recently is the whole Crunchyroll site, and should we keep on buying, considering that Right Stuff is out of the picture? And if you don't know what Right Stuff was a distributor of several types of anime figures, whatnot, and they sold from different manufacturers like Aniplex or Funimation itself or Sentai and whatnot, and they had pretty good, compelling prices. But then Crunchyroll slash Sony bought them, and they no longer exist in essence, even though some people would say, well, it's just Crunchyroll now. But some of us may or may not agree with that. So that's really one part of it, and the other part of it is how, with that buying, how does it affect your space? I know we talked about it a little bit before, but space is always a constant issue with most collectors, especially if you're going into the upper end of huge collectors, like Domino right there, or
Absolutely.
even Roger back there, or again, as you can see with Brandon. So just a little bit more takes on what's anything new there, and what's your takes on Crunchyroll. Are you buying from the website? Have you bought anything recently? Tell
I
us.
tell you the truth,
I
what I've been doing, I've been kind of shy about them. I don't really trust Crunchyroll. Since it became Sony Crunchymation, I
Mm.
don't know about that. I know I've gone to another evil place called Rax or Robert's Anime Corner. They have shifty deals and shenanigans and stuff like that. But my main problem with Crunchyroll is simply my lack of trust if they actually will ship something out or if they will pack well. I've heard a lot of horror stories. Just like if you're deciding to ship with Amazon, I would never, ever, ever ship a limited box to Amazon ever.
And
Uh,
why
No,
this,
is that?
this
did
it's
No packing?
ridiculous. There's no packing. It comes in a soft bubble wrap. And sometimes they ship in a box if you have multiple things. Like if you buy cat food and stuff, they'll throw everything in the same box.
Mm.
So you get your stuff back, it's all with big old a cook pot with different things inside of it. I don't know if I can really trust them with anything that could be close to anything of value other than some manga every so often, a manga or anything big order. I'd be very suspicious of trusting them with.
Mm.
um I did recently do a pre-order for a couple of Dan-made titles just to make sure I get them. But I haven't done like a real full blue Crunchyroll order. And the reason why is, for example, I had ordered this stupid pop-up parade 2 years ago. I ended up buying it somewhere else, and was meaning to just cancel it at some point. I was waiting for it to cancel on its own, but it didn't.
Mm.
And imagine my surprise when I finally got a tracking number 2 years later. But it was one of those. It was a Ray, the long-haired Ray. So now I have two of
Oh,
these. So I'm gonna
nice.
happily break one out of her box. And but yeah, it took 2 years to get that, but they did
Jeez.
send emails like, "Oh, it's delayed," and they would just like they always gave the COVID excuse, And
Yeah,
so I was like, "Okay, whatever."
it's like
Uh,
the Dirty Pair Kickstarter fiasco.
Mm. Yeah. Oh
They get
man, that's a
my
whole
brain.
nother topic there.
yeah,
Is it becoming a fiasco? Because I have not followed that.
Well, overall, it's still going forward. They're
they
still
get it updated.
moving, but the way that how it's merging with the Crunchyroll shop has
Hmm.
not really been correct because a lot of us still don't have that order in Crunchyroll, even though they say it should be.
I did notice one thing. So my order that I did on Crunchyroll, the pre-order,
Hmm.
when I logged into my right stuff, it actually shows it on the open orders on there too. I was like, "Oh, that's interesting." So
Hmm.
I think their merge is currently backwards.
Oh, that's
Interesting.
fantastic.
Yeah, because I saw that because I was like, okay, I didn't get a shipping for my previous box, and sure enough, they shipped something else out that hasn't arrived yet, but it shows it shipped on the right stuff. And then I noticed the one that I think the order was like October 29th, which was already Crunchyroll by that point, and I had
Mm.
ordered the two Danmei books from Crunchyroll, and I was surprised to see it there on my open orders on the right stuff side. I was like, oh, huh.
You ordered from Right Stuff, right? Right?
I'm like, I had to go back to my Crunchyroll to see it. I'm like, sure enough, it was there too. So, but it doesn't have the rest of my orders on there yet. So, I feel like
Yeah.
they have it backwards right now.
All
Yeah.
I know is on September 9th, I ordered my Dress Up Darling limited editions. And whereas everyone's been at least having theirs arrive without notification,
Mm.
no sign of mine and no indication of shipping still. So I
So,
have to reach out tomorrow at this point.
so you went to your Right Stuff account and it still said shipping pending.
Yep.
Wow.
Now,
Wow.
even so, I've still seen one or two show up that way. Actually, six or seven show up
Yeah,
that way,
there has been
but
quite a
this
bit.
one has not shown up still either.
Interesting.
Like Eva actually was that way, I think.
Mm.
The
I would
3.0 plus 1.11 that just showed up, and I don't think the status ever actually updated.
I would imagine it's going to take a while for them to really kind of merge everything over. I haven't purchased anything on Crunchyroll Store's website, but I will say it seems to be a little cluttered right now, as opposed to what Right Stuff's website was.
Hmm.
But I'm sure they'll get it all in working order. I have noticed that they're trying to etch out a couple of more sales, like advertise doing sales on like Blu-rays and that sort of thing. Um, but the deals aren't as good as
Yeah.
what they were. So it'll be interesting to see what Sony does with this in the next like 6 months to a year, just to see like how they're gonna handle it. Um, but yeah, I'm sure they're gonna get a lot of the stuff worked out in the next couple months. Just a process.
Does this mean we should wait a year before we should start ordering anything significant from Crunchyroll, Brandon?
It's a good idea. Yeah.
I'm
Well,
also kind of waiting for all my previous back orders to kick in too, to
yeah, that's a
Yeah.
big problem there.
kind of clear it
Also,
out.
Also, I actually ordered something from the Crunchyroll website kind of recently to just to see what's going on because they had sales for like $10 limited edition
Yeah.
sets, and I was missing a few of those. So it's like, okay, well, might as well try it out. And then what's interesting is the orders that come from Right Stuff have the same packaging as you'd expect from Right Stuff, but with Crunchyroll labels.
Yeah.
But the ones I bought directly from Crunchyroll though, some of them still come from their Right Stuff distribution area, but not with the same packaging requirements that Right Stuff had. They just wrapped it
Really?
with just the brown
Um,
wrapping card paper thing around the each Blu-ray or like the stack of Blu-rays and put in a box. And then I did notice that some do actually come from another distribution area in Texas separately, but with the same, even less paper and less
Oh,
packing. So
oh boy.
yeah, it's gonna be dicey if that's really where they're going
Interesting.
forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be a toss
Very
up, I
scary.
think.
Now, mind you, the sets were still in good condition. Nothing got damaged.
that's good.
But yeah, it's
So,
definitely not the same quality standard as when you got from Right Stuff with the whole outside covering with the box, and then you put
Yeah.
the
um,
Blu-rays in the middle.
The
box and the wrap
box,
around with paper.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're definitely missing the outer shell of that.
the outer shell. Yeah.
Yeah, and the worst part is, when they do it in that manner, it's actually worse than having an exact fit box because when you have literally a single piece of paper as your quote unquote buffer, not only do you usually have at least one side that's already making contact with the box, but plenty of room for your box to slide around within it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when you really are likely to catch edge damage.
Yep, the sliding does not help at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Hence
my
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 hesitation buying from Crunchyroll for anything significant.
Mm-hmm. Now,
Uh,
Yeah.
I would say if you've seen
Yeah,
a
I would
really good
agree.
Understandable.
deal from
Yeah.
Crunchyroll, I would still go for it. But pre-orders, that's where it's like I don't know. It's really
Ah,
It is a
that's
die
the
roll
question.
right now.
I would agree with that.
life, but it's not pointing that way. Sorry, I have family that worries about nothing.
About nothing. Whoa. Oh,
Stop
you're
worrying
alive,
about
hopefully.
nothing.
Also, understanding that Crunchyroll is changing their online manga printing. They're not
yeah.
going to do any more
Mm-hmm.
online manga, so it's going to change. There's always been all this shifting around and stuff. If they're putting some. I must admit, I did some interesting look at their digital anime site,
Mm-hmm.
and I found some pretty interesting titles like that Magic Academy.
Mm.
So that's a while. I never thought that would ever come, ever, ever, ever.
Right.
But it's on the site now. So they've been doing some more shifty moves around there to make some more and more rare anime titles that nobody ever heard before available now. So this, for me, it's like a love-hate relationship right now.
Mm.
Crunchyroll being the way it is. They could take anything they have taken off titles already. They already have done that, but they're adding stuff in it. So this is going to be our future where they going to add stuff and stuff you may like to watch later on. They won't. So it goes back to it's
Right.
best to have your physical if you ever want to have it.
Almost, let's kind of go with the idea of space. I'm almost kind of using this as a sign to finally start, fine tuning my own collection
Mm.
with this change because I'm hesitant to pre-order as much as I've been because I don't know what they're gonna do with my pre-orders at this rate, and
Mm.
are they gonna vanish when the merge happens? So I'm kind of using this to slow down on collecting, at least from there, and focusing on going through what I have and being like, okay, does this really need to be in my collection? Currently, my answer is yes, but but I want to try. I do need to make a little more space for myself, and plus, I do get a little sad when I see people's collections that are not quite as enormous, but very beautifully, you know,
Arrange.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
you can. It's aesthetically pleasing to look at, like that. I mean, this might be aesthetically pleasing to someone, but to me, it's not. It's a pile of manga that needs to go somewhere. But yeah,
I know the
but
feeling.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
and
gonna be tough. It's kind of tough to get everything arranged in one spot in a way that makes it aesthetically pleasing, and you start spending some money too. That's the infrastructure spending on that kind of thing is
Mm-hmm.
kind of high.
Well,
Mm.
So
that's also part of why I kind of went to like some portions that are display and others that are really just rote storage. So for example, when I've got my manga or anime tucked in various areas of my desk, they're pretty much crammed in there,
Oh,
even
they
three
are.
and four deep. But at the same time, at least hopefully I can keep track of where they are so I can find them.
Mm.
And then I've got other portions that I'll actually have out on display that are like top favorites or highlights or, whatever the motivation may be.
I think
yeah,
considering the premium of space now, a lot of people are realizing that, okay, this is the space we have to work with. And considering all the pictures you see online on social media, whatnot, it's like, well, maybe this will give me the motivation to say, okay, what do I want to display with the space I have? Can I really afford to, again, set up bookshelves, maybe get a bigger space? Again, bigger space is probably the most expensive part. Most people can't. So the next
Exactly.
part is really, okay, what do I want to focus on with the space I have and deal with it that way? But again, from a collecting standpoint, that's difficult because we love a
So
lot.
yeah. You have to learn.
Narrow is hard.
Yeah, you got to learn how to dance with the devil you want to dance with. All
Hmm.
of it. Would love to have a full room full of manga or anime or art books or even figures. I mean, I've run out of room for figures, and this is it. If there's any more than that, I won't be looking. It'll just have to do like hurdles over it or something.
I
Or
wish I
Yeah.
had your self control with figures because I have a lot of Sega prize figures just around me. I mean, it's ridiculous. I got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's just in random spots of my room over here. I got two right here in front of me. I have five over here, and then you see all these little peoples up on top of my manga.
Yeah,
So,
Oh, for
those are
like
the.
me,
That's a hard. Yeah. Go ahead.
I
yeah.
know, I know it's like being a collector. I mean, I feel like space is also a determining factor in what we buy. And so I think it's one of those things where like, for me, I don't know if I can like show you all, but so like, I mean, I've got a couple of different like,
I'm gonna check Brandon.
what's it? Like the
I'm liking the
posters and that
tapestries
kind
you
of
put up
thing.
now.
That looks really
Uh,
great. I love the
Oh
room.
yeah.
Thank you, thank you. I
Yeah.
like the Carol and Tuesday thing. I actually have several
Yeah.
copies of that on vinyl because I got that picture frame at Walmart for like $9.
Mm, yeah.
And so like it's determining, how do you want to present something, but also it's like what's important enough that you want to display it in a way that's aesthetically pleasing,
Hmm.
you know?
Like you were saying there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, no, totally. And like I have so many of these tapestries from like anime Blu-ray bonuses
Hmm.
from Japan that like I can't figure out, do I want to take something off for like a month and put something else up? Maybe that's what I do. But I haven't fully figured out like what I want to do exactly. So like over here, I mean back here, um these are all like um they're basically like pastel, not pastel, but like canvas boards, bonus items. And then the ones up top here, like Woltekoi, SSSS Gridman, Promised Neverland, those are like extra, almost vinyl sized cases
Mm.
to hold the discs. And I'm like, do I want to display them like that? Or do I want to like get a frame and frame them like that and maybe do them like up the wall? Or would that even look good? So it's also like, do I want to spend the money on that product? Especially when you go to a convention and you find something you like really, really want to buy. There's been times where I'll go, like when I was at ASIN
Hmm.
earlier this year back in May, there were a dozen posters I wanted to get. And I'm like, do I want to display them?
Hmm.
And I made the decision not to get them because I'm like, I don't want to shell out the money if I'm not going to show like enough space, because I've actually got a
And
closet here full of, anime figures on my top shelf,
Mm.
and then I've got a ton of Final Fantasy items. I've got like 3 tubs worth of Final Fantasy stuff from like the 80s and or the 90s until today,
Mm.
and I'm like, I want to display it, but it's all about space, and so I think that's what, at least for me, being a collector is a crucial factor in determining the types of items that you buy. Um, like, I don't know if any of you saw my video I did for my US DVD releases
Oh
a
yes.
Oh
couple
yeah.
weeks
Thank
ago. That's only a fraction of what I have. I have
Oh.
2 or 3 whole boxes worth of stuff,
Ooh.
but it took me a couple of hours to determine, what is it that I want to display? How do I want to display it? So I think that's also a huge factor, like I was saying. And it's tough,
Mhm.
it really is as a collector of, like we were saying in a previous uh, podcast, like where's that stopping point? And I think space is a crucial factor in that.
Oh,
So,
you.
absolutely.
Because the
yeah,
collection can only be as big as the container is.
Yep.
exactly, exactly. Yeah, how do you find a way to express what you love as a collector when you're so limited in the amount of space that you have,
Yeah,
So
and I
it's interesting.
and I don't want to get to that point like I think some of you are, where you have storage units also filled with your
Stuff.
collection. And
Mhm.
as much as I would think, oh sweet, I got a whole collection out in the middle of nowhere, I don't want to get to that point because that stuff's just gonna sit there, and it's like I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Nice touch in the middle of nowhere.
It was a difficult decision to do that, but it got to a reality. Either I'm going to move to a bigger place and was not really conducive at that time,
Mhm.
or I'm going to have I'm not going to have any room. I would want to keep collecting. That's the thing
Yeah.
about it. I still want to buy stuff, but I have no room.
Mhm.
So when my happy guy over at Fort Walton Beach said, you know what, Raj, how about getting external storage? I said, I don't want to do that. Then he told me what I could do for a few, for $25. I said, well, okay, I guess that's a lot. Look at all that space I can have. So I filled it up immediately. So got a bigger space, and now I got a way big room. So thanks my buddy over there for helping me out with that particular part. But for my case, it has been a ally. I spend about $100 per month on the storage air condition, and even had to buy shelving, buy multi-level shelving,
Mhm.
put all the stuff up. So I don't want everything big pile of stuff. But in my case, there had to be a decision. Am I going to just going to have just the stuff I like to display the most? Do I want to display as much as possible? And I think my way of doing it was display as much as possible.
Mhm.
There's some extra stuff that I can't display. I'm not quite as interested, so I'll store that. But as other than that, I'll utilize everything I could. The latest edition being manga shelving I put up. I'm really really happy about that. I was able to put much more manga up. What I really wanted to do. So yeah, it's a matter of space and what you would like to display. And there will be different. I think there will be different ways from just piling, which is a good way. Vertical stacking is always been a traditional way of taking care of business. To a beautiful display like Brandon or Eric or what's his name? Aragani. I think he's not part of us anymore, but he had a beautiful display as well, or something in between where you have a lot of stuff. You have areas sectioned off like I do. I got anime area, manga area, a figure different stations.
Has there, as a collector, Roger, has there been a moment where there were items that you wanted to buy that you backed away from due to space?
Absolutely, yes. I
Oh
have
yeah.
made
I think
many
everyone can say that.
with that.
Yeah.
I would love to have more. Like for instance, tapestries. I would love to have more put
Mm.
up. I don't know where to put it. I see very little reason to buy something if I just going to be, it's in the tube and you just put a pile of it.
So
I've been that way.
so
Yeah.
how I did around that.
Dilemma. It totally is. Yeah.
I have a whole stack of these really cool vintage anime and video game posters that I bought from Anime Expo like ages ago, and
Ooh.
they're in a box that's been hidden in my closet that I can't get to for like the last 10, 15 years. And it's like, man, I can't wait to finally spread things around and get to those. 'Cause I'd like to show them off at some point,
I want to
And
see
that's,
those.
yeah,
Oh, look at that. Aranka
Veronica,
Lee.
Veronica.
Yeah. I like that.
Get some across in here, yeah.
course.
But I think
That's
for the tapestry itself, how I feel and how I do it is I go by rotational like season.
yeah.
So every 3 months, I just change all my tapestries and then put up new ones. And it kind of goes through a rotation cycle of okay, at least yeah, I don't have the room for all of it, but at least you get to see it 3 months a year, and it kind of changes your perspective and your sense of your space as well. At least in my
Yep.
opinion.
It's a great
Yep.
idea. Yeah.
Yeah, I like to introduce gradual changes over time
Hmm.
and just change things up.
Yeah. Like it takes a little bit of time, sure, but again, you're gonna do it X amount of time per year, and definitely,
Well, that I
It's
view that as part of the fun too.
yeah.
called Bocce the Rock or something like that.
Yeah, it's a canvas board from Bochi the Rock.
I just saw the manga just became available.
Do
I
you
didn't
buy
think it
it?
was,
Yeah.
it was a
Mhm.
for coma.
Yeah.
They have those canvas prints on well I was right stuff. I don't know if Crunchyroll has it, but for have an official blessing that I keep staring at. I'm like, I don't need those because I don't know where to put them.
And it's tough too, because like I'm this next weekend I'm going to my annual KurtCon thing in Pittsburgh,
Oh.
Kansas. My friends and I we drive out to the Asylum Anime Warehouse and just kind of have at it. And
Send me things.
we spend the we spend the day out there, and it's a lot of fun. The drive is pretty nice, and that's actually where I got my giant Kogami Shinya um,
Mm.
poster. But
Yeah, you need to
last
send
year,
that to me. Just saying.
La- last year, I mean, he had a ton of posters this size.
Oh
And
yeah.
there were several I wanted to get. He has one he's had for years, and it's Minmay from the original
Oh,
Macross.
midnight.
Ooh.
Wow.
And I cannot remember how much it is for the life of me, but I really want to get it. But I'm like, well, then again, it's space, you know? Where do I want to put it up? Do I take Kogami down, you know? But I don't know.
Yeah,
I
you
I
So,
take
see some
me
space
down and
by there.
sit
I see some
here.
yeah,
space there.
yeah, there's a little bit right there. I mean,
Yeah.
I could probably put some stuff up top here,
Yeah. There
which
you
I'm
go.
thinking about doing. So, but yeah, going back to that, like it's the whole space thing, and that is such a determining factor for me.
Mm.
Because, like Roger, what you were saying, you want to display as much as you can. It's also like for me, like it's the nostalgia of it. Like I got Cowboy Bebop right here framed. Um, and it's actually signed by the English voice actor of Spike and Julia, and they wrote quotes from the show, and it's just nostalgia for me because it's one of my favorite anime. But I'm like, do I take that down and put something else up? So
Too
it's
bad.
tough.
Too bad the Super Dimension Con hasn't been very good lately, and they slighted Mari because that would have been that Minmay poster would have been something awesome to get signed by her.
Oh
Mm.
yeah, that would have been really cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, space is like it's just it's interesting for collectors because I think that especially nowadays with the internet giving us more access to buying stuff that's was hard to find anyway, a little bit more easier access. So I don't know. It's just the whole space thing is just
Mhm.
interesting to me.
Yeah. Everyone
And
buy a bigger space.
yeah,
Problem
and
solved.
there's been there's been plenty of times where I've even pushed off of buying an Japanese anime Blu-ray set because it came with a really cool tapestry I
Mm.
really wanted to buy, but I couldn't display it. So
What
I'm
was it?
like, I don't want to. Oh, it was um, oh my gosh, it was Konosuba actually, the first
Ooh.
season. It was a tapestry with the girls playing like beach ball or something, if I recall.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
but the tapestry was like
No to
huge.
that? What's wrong with you? I'm
Yeah,
just
you
kidding.
you uh you said no to that?
Yeah, I kind of did. I love that series though. It's really fun.
Hey,
So,
season 2.
yeah,
Season 2
yeah,
came out. I think there's a movie.
Yeah,
yeah.
So,
there is.
The movie's great. It
Yeah.
features Megumin in it, and her family is awesome in
Hmm.
that.
you know, there's another way of taking care of business is just to have a specific type of anime up, like if you're a Dragon Ball Z fan or a Sailor Moon
Oh yeah.
fan or a the guy that the Leiji that does the
Leiji
Space
Matsumoto.
Oh
Battleship
yeah, Leiji Matsumoto, who did Galaxy Express. Was it Galaxy
Express
Express?
Yep,
and
Yeah,
99. Yeah,
yeah,
999.
yeah.
999. So there's that kind of themed kind of thing that people do. Where they have all the
Oh yeah.
Madoka stuff, or
Oh yeah.
Yura, or Sailor, whatever Sailor suits, whatever it was. Like if there's a video I would recommend everybody to see if they're watching this video podcast is the Talk No Video.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't
Oh
know if
yeah.
you heard that one before, but I remember watching that years ago. So I'll never be that way. Then a few years later, yeah, I look at this. So
To be honest, parts of that was kind of cringy.
yeah,
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah.
scraps and tables. It was basically Gynex laughing at themselves and making fun of
Yeah.
fans. But it's a unique watch.
Oh yeah.
I would
Oh yeah. It
recommend
is.
and see what other people. The strange guy with the headband is
Mm.
Yeah.
screaming about his collection. So yeah, I would recommend seeing that if you haven't seen that already. Yeah. So as far as I think that's going to be something that is something to talk about digital, because digital, for all intents and purposes, is limitless. I just you don't have to buy every single. Back in the day when I was started collecting anime, I did buy every last bit of it I could. Every single bit if I liked it or not.
Mm.
I got to know if down the road that I will first watch It's or One, thing is kind of cringy. Then later on I would like it. Stuff like that. So I used to buy everything. On digital, you can actually watch stuff that you never seen before. You're a little bit hesitant buying. Of course there's other parts of that I like that they only. I kind of wish they kept it with the anime and the manga. It would be another one place to go instead of having a topography of different places you have to go to get your manga. You're going to have to go 3 or 4 different places, and this has theirs, and this has this, and this has that, and
Yeah.
you're going to have different accounts, and it's $5 and $2 and $10, and I definitely
Is
wouldn't
that
mind having a place.
Is Crunchyroll worth it? Because I had a moment too where I went to Crunchyroll and I was looking at the deals, and I had like 7 Blu-ray sets in my cart. And then I
Whoa.
paused and I was like, wonder if all of this is on the streaming there. So I went to the streaming part of Crunchyroll, and sure enough, all 7 of them were there. And I'm like, do I really need to buy all 7 of these when I can eventually just get a streaming account and just watch it that way? Because I
Mm-hmm.
know I'm not going to watch them as soon as I get them. They're going to get stuck in the pile with the hundreds of millions of other ones I got there.
Yeah.
And, and so I'm finally getting to that point where, okay, I don't have Crunchyroll. I only have the free account still because I've been
Mm.
debating this for a while. And what's funny is I even looked up My Dress Up Darling, and you can watch it for free right now.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Any of the new
You
shows
can.
you
I
can.
Like
mean, most of the current ones you can.
Yeah. But that's not
yeah.
yeah,
really the point.
$10 a month. You can save a lot of money if you just want to watch a show.
Yeah.
Or in my case, if you're extremely lazy, you don't want to take all your collection, break open a box, take the stuff out, load in your player, and watch it. And like some kind of thing might be a certain amount of laziness. I'd be able to just go on the side and click. I just couldn't watch it.
I bought the box set for Iron Blooded Orphans, the Gundam, and then it's stuck in the pile. And sure enough, I found out Netflix was removing it. The easy and I have Netflix and the easy to use video player, so I binged the heck out of it
Mm-hmm.
before it got removed, so I can just enjoy that. And now that box can stay sealed for.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's the other thing too. Not all these shows will always be online.
No, it
That's
So
true.
won't.
that's
It's
part of the
nature
reason to buy
moved.
Oh
physical.
yeah, that totally is. The licensing
And
goes out,
And
and
that's why I won't ever
that's a
stop
huge.
buying. I won't ever stop buying. It's just that I'm finally limiting myself. And
Mm.
Crunchy streaming, I think, is great for that because you might not want to keep Aiken,
Well,
and
I also
What
think
an
it helps.
example.
I also
yes,
think it. I also think that streaming helps as being a collector because it helps you determine what shows are worth purchasing.
Exactly.
That's a good point.
Especially if you haven't seen the show
Exactly.
and you're like
Yeah.
interested in it, you're like, okay, let me, watch it. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I love that show. Carol on Tuesday was so good on Netflix. I'm gonna go out and buy the Japanese set and the US set. And so
Exactly what I
it's
did.
just like, yeah. And so I was just like, I just love this show. But then there's other shows in there you go and watch, and you're like, do I want to invest into more money in buying a physical release?
Mm-hmm.
You know? And then there's been times where I'll go and buy a show because like I'll know that the streaming isn't gonna get like they're gonna lose the rights. I know that Netflix removed several anime recently.
Oh yes,
Oh yeah.
Iron Blood,
It's just
Sword
really
for
it's
one.
really unfortunate
Mm-hmm.
that these contracts go up just like that, you
Oh,
know?
Or
but
like
you
they go in a state of flux, like with Hulu, that they're part of Disney, I believe. They're in a state of flux. So if you liked watching anime on Hulu, it used to be the place to go
Oh
to
yeah.
watch quite a bit of anime. Now that's in the state of flux. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
right.
Right.
And it's kind of funny because, okay, for example, another great thing about streaming is like, say you can't afford the set, like Erased,
Mhm.
for example. I
Yeah.
got
Mm,
I
and
got
right.
to watch it because it was on Netflix. It sadly is no longer on Netflix, but I at least watched it beforehand. But that is a title that did vanish from there, and so yeah, yeah, yeah. If you do the streaming game, you got to be on top of your game because yeah, I could just go, and then you have
Mm-hmm.
to still find an outlet. Luckily, I think Crunchyroll has it, but and I think even Hulu has that one. So it's not
Mm.
like it's gone, but there might
Yeah.
be a chance where you can't afford it, and that's the only way you're going to be able to watch it. Because maybe that's all you want is just to watch it.
That's why a lot of the secondary market on the anime, they're gonna be 9,999 pricing on them.
Oh
You know,
yeah,
they're not worth it. No
Yeah.
matter how much I love a race, I love it. I have a full bottom as soon as they came out. Love it, but I would not spend
No.
$10,000 on a race set, no matter how much I loved it.
Yeah.
There's a
It'll price
certain
people
point,
out of the market.
yeah. It's just I don't know what they want to get. There'll be a certain amount. I mean, like the aforementioned, we talked about the Legend of Galactic Hero set. People will spend $5,000, $6,000 on it. They will.
Which
You
and
is
know,
watch
yeah.
High Dive, which I did.
That's how I watch it first. Yeah.
Yeah, at least the
yeah.
50 episodes of the original. I still
There
get
there was
the
a case of me deciding at the time that the $750 is kind of cheap now, considering everything. But at the time, I said, well, I really didn't want to invest that kind of cash
Well,
on.
and I think that's
I,
why it stayed in stock for so long because really in hindsight for any general fan, that's a lot of money to put down at one time. And even
yeah.
if
anything
you
over,
put payments on it, that's still a big amount unless you put it for like a year or so, but most places don't. But either way, that's a lot of money to put down for a show.
yeah, I
Yeah,
think
So,
the
it
most
is.
expensive on an anime, just one single anime, was like on the Garden of Sinners for like $600.
mhm.
That was kind of my limit. I really don't want to spend any more than that in one single series. There'd
Right.
be different had different series put together for a bit more money, but
Yeah.
if you want to get a 20, like basically you're getting like 10 episodes, like on the
Oh yeah.
Garden of Sinners. No matter, it's my number one anime, but it's still just like 10 shows,
Mhm.
plus one special. And now you're spending $600. So the biggest
Yeah.
$60 a show. Kind of goes back to the gold holocron days of 45 minutes for $40.
Yeah. Yeah, well,
It's
it,
Yeah.
it's it's funny you bring that up because like being a collector is almost a gamble because you have to know the kinds of okay, so like you have to know the kind of show that you're into and then like whether, you want to invest in that show and then it's like do you want to buy it right away and then you know whether or not if it's going to be around, you know,
a
years
gamble.
down the
Yeah.
road if it's going to be available physically and streaming rights, but it's really a gamble, especially like your Galactic Heroes set, it really is. And
It's like this.
space, like I said, space does play a factor
Mhm.
Mhm.
in determining, what we want to buy.
That
There
mic
you
Yeah.
go.
So it's like
mic
this.
up in,
Is
so
is
that's
that is that Death March?
Yeah.
Mark and Parallel World Rhapsody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, domino flexing.
So this was a
Uh,
show that nobody really gave a darn about. And
No,
like nobody talked about it. And then all of a sudden it was out of print and bajillion dollars. It's like, what?
They did not put a standard edition, that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect example of
Yeah.
that.
If there's no standard edition, welcome to It Will Sell Out.
Yeah.
Now you have two of us here getting a set here.
Here's a beautiful example that Dom was talking about was the Golden Kamuy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, season 1, yeah.
It just materialized out of nowhere and suddenly, poof, it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
You get it.
Yeah. Welcome to the collecting market. You need to know when to buy,
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
especially in the
Brandon.
show that you want. Ah,
Oh, that was
erased.
great.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
great, buddy. That's a fancy, really cool looking set. I want
Well,
it. I want it. Oh, yeah, I love it. Oh, my God, I got to have it. Oh, I got to have it. I got to put an order with Anna immediately. Thank you, Brandon. Got to have that bad boy. Yeah, buddy.
Oh, and
I'm
that's
glad
another
that we're
thing.
buying here.
That's
Yeah.
another thing. Us collectors are bad juju for each other because we.
Welcome to the
Oh
group,
yeah.
Domino. We
Oh, that looks
we
like a
promote buying.
And we do that well.
Yeah, yeah. Look at all the examples we're getting here. Look at that.
Yep.
looks
That's the
like
JP editions.
Carol Tuesday.
Nice.
Yeah, see, his came with that box cover. We can't hear you on the mic, by the way, Brandon.
I
But
just
yeah,
saw
his came with that box cover.
Yeah, it was the Amazon Japan box for pre-ordering
Mm.
both sets. And I've been looking everywhere online. Roger, I've actually been looking for it online to see if I can find another one. And it's like nowhere to be found. It's
it'd be
crazy.
something for Anna to find for that, so
Yeah. Yeah, by
it's
that
just,
point you need to be in the location.
Yeah, I've
yeah,
got the sets, but not the box. I would get
I'm
that box in a
actually
second if I
just
found it
I just found out. So
within reason.
one of my friends just talked to the guy that owns Anime Asylum, and this guy Kurt was just in Japan like 6 months ago doing all this shopping.
Mm.
So he might have like a bunch of new merchandise. So I'm gonna see what he has.
So I hear a video, Brandon.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna be trying to do a video. I think one of my friends is gonna shoot it on my phone.
Nice.
So
so I'll
yeah.
go ahead because Brandon shop's there. I'll make a link out of it. All right, so let's go ahead and save this bad boy. All right, the deed's done.
What deed was done?
Yeah,
What
Uh,
about
I'm
race?
so
not sure either.
That's what I'm wondering. There's a lot we
So
talked about.
so
I was
like
like, did I miss something?
so like as a collector, I know
I'm not
that
a
one
race
set in
guy.
particular that I knew that I had to buy
My dress up party.
because I felt like it was going to be one of those shows that was going to sell out. Is the TV anime Gangster.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh,
Studio
okay.
Manglo was out of business as of
Monoglobe.
2015.
It was
And
Monoglobe,
so,
glass
yeah,
anime.
yeah. hmm
Yeah.
And so it was a weird deal because they had released the first two volumes back in 2015 in September and October. And then they delayed the entire release for like a whole year and a half. And so I was like, I knew that I had to get the set. And the Japanese single volume sets come with subtitles, English subtitles. So
I didn't know. That's very nice. You can send that to my house.
Yeah, it's just I've always thought that the Japanese and 99% of the time they just have such beautiful packing and in the way they present their anime. They really love their stuff. In America, we get like the ham sandwich version of it if we're lucky. Oh, he's showing off more stuff.
What we got here?
this is that Code Black and Ashford Code Geass little art thing I
Hmm.
was posting about. This
Okay.
actually includes
Okay.
Uh,
Huh.
they actually made figures for all these characters,
Hmm.
like the rock versions.
oh, there it is.
Oh, that's
Oh,
lovely.
okay.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
like
that's pretty cool.
So, like, as a collector and going back with space, like, art books is hard because, you want to display them, but it's like, how do you want to display them? I just have, like, these really, like, cheapy little magazine holders that I've put all of them in. And I wish that I could, like, display them in a better way. But then again, it's the space issue. And it's hard with art books,
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
hard with
because
art books.
because there's like art in those books that you wish you could display. And I would never ever cut up an art book. That's
Ugh,
just like
no.
No.
awful. And I've
No.
seen people like cut up like new type Japanese new type magazines
Oh yeah.
just to show off the
Excuse
artwork
me. Sorry.
But
online. And I'm
Hmm.
like, why are you doing this? I mean, it's great for us, but I'm like, why are you doing this?
Yeah.
Like, no.
I do. I am very fond of art books because they can. It's one of those kind of things you can have a lot of artwork in a small amount of space.
Yeah.
yeah,
Very
Just
true.
like cards or pencil boards. But man, art books are just a package deal.
Hmm.
They're generally around $25 brand new. You can spend a hell of a lot more.
Oh, I was gonna
You
say
know,
that's the
than
low
that.
end.
There's a couple of them out there. I don't think it's worth like $500 to get.
Okay,
I
yeah,
just,
that's very few. Yeah.
but I am very fond of art books. Like the
Ooh, Nazca.
Nausicaa art book, Nausicaa art book. Yeah, that's one I have my eyes on. Thanks to Brandon.
Yeah. You gonna put it on the list?
That's what I'm here for.
That's how evil these people are.
So how many things you have on your list here, Roger?
I got,
Hmm.
I have my list and the list of stuff I know. There's all kind of, I have all kinds of stuff I wouldn't mind getting. He just said, that
cartons.
I wish I could buy it all. I wish I had like an extra $1 million right now. I would spend it on it. But
Don't we all?
eh,
Uh.
So, like, speaking of space and like
Yeah,
collecting, so this is the kind of thing that I have
Oh
to
yeah.
hold a lot of my stuff.
Okay, yeah.
oh, I like that.
yeah, those. Yeah, that works.
So what is everyone thinking of space in the meantime?
Space is definitely the new frontier. There's always seemed to be so little of it. Figure not maybe they can figure out how to hire your local time lord to help you with the third space, the
Oh,
storage.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's, it's just like I said. There's so much stuff I would love to have. You know, money or not, but there has to be order. If there, I'd rather not have. I just rather have some sort of display order to it.
Hmm.
It's where you can locate your there's cases where I even forgot what anime I had until I looked up. I had to find it, and it was organized in a way that I can because I had this. I said I can't believe it.
You
It
know
just
what?
sometimes gets lost.
You know
Uh,
what
and
my
it's
biggest problem right now is like the figures, the price figures or whatever. They're cheap and beautiful. Like, okay, so I got this one. It's displayed in my living room, but I mean, I finally got an albino figure that I was cheap, and it was this one right here.
Oh, nice. Okay.
It's only
Ooh, I
30.
like that one.
Hmm.
Who's the
Yeah.
manufacturer?
Who makes that?
It's I don't know. Is
Taito.
artist masterpiece? Is
Yeah,
that
that's
what?
the Taito Amp series.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Okay.
yeah.
I
Taito
like
Amp
that a
Plus.
lot. That's cool.
And there's a
It's
And
light.
neat.
actually, what's funny is so the GSC pop up
Yeah,
almost identical to that. It's a slightly different pose, but you can tell it's like they use the same model. But both actually should look stellar for the money too.
What's the
Oh,
going
your
rate
mic
on
cut
those?
out.
I
Like
said I'm gonna go
30-ish?
real quick. I'll
40?
show it to you. It's only like $30.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the standard, like price figure.
Yeah, but the quality of them is well above usual price
Hmm.
quality. Now, whether or not GSC delivers on it, we'll have to see. But it looked from the picture like it had to be the same, die cast or whatever they use to make them.
Okay.
Um, we'll only know when we see the final result, of course.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of figures, I was actually having a conversation. I had my Anime Nights group last night, and one of my real good friends, this guy Sean, he he collects figures, and he's one of the guys that goes on this trip with me, and we had this conversation about how much the price of anime figures has evolved, and like how $300 is like the new $100 essentially for buying. Whoa, that's cool. Whoa, is that the one?
Yeah,
That's awesome.
way better than Pop-Up Parade.
Whoa,
Yeah.
that's cool.
That's nice, actually.
Yeah.
Yep.
Look at it. That's a prize figure?
Wait, seriously?
Yep. Hmm.
What? That's like, that looks like $100 piece.
Yeah,
You know, 100.
can you
Only
send
30
me the
minutes.
info on that?
Sure.
So yeah, so my friend Sean and I were having this conversation about um anime figures, and he was like, really, the way to go is prize figures. Because he said that, 30 to $70, like, I mean, you can get some pretty cool stuff. I got this at my Asylum anime trip a couple of years back, but it's
Mm,
Rei Ayanami,
yeah,
and it's a Sega prize figure, and I got it for like $25. But it's pretty cool. I don't know if you all can see that.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, I like this one. This is one of my favorites.
Yeah,
And
price figure.
I'm not like an avid figure collector, but when I see something like this, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't buy many prize ones,
Ooh.
mainly not because there aren't good ones, but
Okay,
simply because space will not allow for both. If I were to
honestly,
get every prize one I like to,
Jeez.
I
Yeah,
wouldn't have room to display anything.
yeah. Prize is like a
So,
black hole in essence of you can go really deep.
yeah.
Now
I
that's
see the
Yep.
nice.
pop. I see the pop-up parade
Where's the other
version of
Nana?
it. Anyways,
You must have the other. Good.
My Hachi didn't arrive yet.
Ah.
Poor Hachiko.
Brandon, I sent it to you. I sent you the Crunchyroll version.
Oh, cool.
It's actually $40 on Crunchyroll. I got
Okay.
mine from a comic book store, and it was like $31.99 or something. So almost
Okay.
30.
Cool.
So
Yeah,
you could
thank you for
probably
sending
get
me
it
that.
cheaper somewhere else, but at least you'll have the details from what kind of figure it is.
Oh, cool. Awesome. Thank you for sending me that. I
Oh,
appreciate
you're
that.
welcome. And there is I did see the pop-up parade. That one's 39, and that one actually looks pretty nice too, but it's probably going to be a lot smaller.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the part I'm not sure about
Is
is
it the L?
if it is the same cast, then it should look good, but otherwise, and we know Pop-Up Parade does not deliver probably about 80% of the time at least.
Yeah, yeah. So if between the two, I definitely would go for the
The amp, yeah.
masterpiece artist one, the amp. Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think they
pop-up
have two
parades
or
are.
three announced or released so far in that line, and from what I've seen, they all look really good.
they're really nice. Yeah. Oh, look at that departure. Nice.
Oh.
Yeah, and pop-up parades are pretty hit or miss, really.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Usually miss. At least
Usually.
that's been my experience. I would say at least 2/3 of the few pop-up parades that I have gotten have gone right to the sell pile.
Wow.
Like literally, I'm like, all right.
Wait, you
Yeah.
bought your
In that case,
Even
just
from
just don't buy.
Saikano, that tells you a lot right there. That I would
Mhm.
put a Saikano one in the sell pile immediately.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Ooh.
nice.
I
But
remember
like,
somebody had posted about this box set a couple of weeks ago. It was the Lita
Mhm.
set, and this was the bonus for Amazon Japan.
Oh,
that's
nice.
nice.
That is nice.
Yeah.
But for the pop-up parade thing, yeah, I bought Chun-Li and I bought Cammy, and the Chun-Li looks great as a pop-up parade, but the Chun-Li, I mean the Chun-Li looks great but the Cammy is kind of terrible. But
This
they're
is the
making a
one you're talking
Morgan one.
about, the Lena set?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
but I looked at the Morgan one. If you look up
Yeah,
the
that one.
Morgan pop-up parade, it looks terrible.
Have you looked at the
I
Morgan?
love that set, by the way. It's awesome.
Yeah, as I said, the Morgan looks terrible
Yeah.
for pop-up parade.
Yeah, which
I
is
will probably
disappointing.
It's very disappointing because I love Morgan, but
Mhm.
yeah, she's in this weird pose. Her face looks boring, and the
Yeah.
angle of her hips is weird. And yeah, I'm looking at it right now. I would between the two, I'd rather have Lilith, and I much prefer Morrigan.
Right.
But yeah, I luckily have the Yamashita version, the Bishojo figure of her, which the face was not exactly ideal, but way better than what I'm getting on that pop-up parade.
But yeah, I collect quite a few vinyls, and like, I wish I could display more of them. Like, it's a dilemma, as a collector.
Mm.
What's important enough, and
I
I think
know.
I think you had a great point about rotating them every like 3 months,
Yep.
because it's cool because it like refreshes, like it refreshes your like mindset as a collector, and like when you
Hmm.
walk into your like space, it'll be different every 3 months,
Yep.
so
Hmm.
plus it gives
Yep.
you like a little project to do, because like one of my favorite things to do is organizing my sets.
Mm.
And so I love to go in and like, the one thing I will say I rotate are my Japanese anime sets, because I usually showcase my storage boxes that I have.
Oh.
um, I don't know if I can bring this. I'm using a microphone, so
Okay.
um, but like
There we go.
my
I got my death marching.
my sets down
Good
here,
job, Roger.
like I don't
Keeping
know if you
it
can see
resealed.
these,
Yeah, well,
But you need to open it and check if your Sandy
like
worth $500 is in there.
Shudamotor's cat. If you open it up, you don't know if it's going to be in there or not. But you have hope it is still alive in there.
but
It's
yeah,
like
I
maybe
like
there's a $500 bill in there, maybe there isn't.
I might have a gold balloon.
funny story. I bought an anime, and I got it at this place called Vintage Stock,
Mm.
and
Yeah.
Vintage.
they I bought it used, and it was already like, because they like pre- package all those again. They like saran wrap them. Uh, they like cover them in like plastic wrap. And I bought this anime, and gosh, I can't remember what it was now. I want to say it was like a Robotech DVD, and I
Hmm.
opened it up, and it was not Robotech. It was Dragon Quest VIII for the PlayStation 2. And I was like, oh, that's
Wow.
That's not even
amazing.
close.
Talk about a collector's find right there. But I already had it for the PS2 anyway, but
Huh.
yeah, it's pretty funny. So it's funny when you go into stores like that, because um, you never know what you're gonna get.
Wow.
um,
Yeah.
so yeah, so it was fun. I like going over there. I've got one in my local area,
Hmm.
and they closed down the other one that's closer to my house. But there's some pretty cool finds there sometimes. And I'm not like usually keen on buying used stuff. I like to buy everything new, but it
Hmm.
depends on within reason, what it is and that sort of thing. Especially in the condition too. I don't like buying stuff if there's like any damage really at all.
Okay.
Um, but I yeah, I like going into those stores and just kind of checking out just to see what people will turn around and they'll sell, So
Hmm.
it's interesting as a collector, from a
Sometimes
collector's
you get lucky.
I
perspective.
Like a store like that, like TBS Comics, we had recently had a guy that sold his collection off, and I got some really good, interesting vintage stuff. For cheap. I just
Oh.
started buying it. Yeah, wiped them out as just wiped them out.
He did. He did.
Went back for 2 or 3 helpings. Yeah, that's nothing left. That's nothing left over there that I would like to get now.
For
Tastes
now.
for that. I
That
miss
that
Didn't
that.
reminds
even
me
leave me breadcrumbs.
that
Yeah.
reminds me of when
Oh,
I
you
went
didn't get
to
any?
No, I found out too late. He kind of kept
Oh,
it
of
quiet.
course, of course.
You
that
still got
reminds
that home, so I think you got something out of it. That's a good, worthwhile sacrifice to my part.
it reminds me of years ago when I went to, because I live in Kansas, and out in Lawrence, Kansas, it's kind of a college town, and there's a place called Hastings.
Hmm.
Yeah, I just
And so
Oh,
they were
tasting
closing
so
it down,
much.
and a couple of my friends were like, "Dude, we need to go to this place called Hastings." And I was like, "All right." I had never heard of it. And
Ah,
so we go out there, and they were like ransacked basically.
Jeez.
And I ended up getting, gosh, I can't remember what year it was. 2000, was it
2016.
2015, I think, is or
2016.
16. Yeah, when I
I
went
know.
out
I remember
there.
that day well.
So
I still dream
when
about it.
I
when I went
do.
out there, I ended up getting a brand new set of Shingeki no Bahamut Genesis, the limited collectors, for only $15. And
No.
Yeah, they
like
were
there were a
going
couple
down.
other sets too. Yeah, they were
Oh,
going under, and they
you
were selling literally
you
everything
should have went
Why?
on
for
the
like
last
super
day.
cheap. Yeah.
So Hastings did this thing, and the only reason they told me ahead of time was because I shop there all the time, and they're like, "I'm not supposed to tell you this, but come Thursday, our last day, at 3 o'clock, bring a trash bag, one of the big ones." And they're like, "What you can do is you could put whatever you want in that bag. That whole bag's gonna be $30."
Jeez.
And then for
Whoa.
books, it was the whole bag for of books for $10. Or no, I think it was 20.
Oh my
But
Wow.
gosh.
but unfortunately, once you got everything, you had to be in line for ever because they had to
Oh yeah.
individually but
Oof.
despite that, the longer it took, the lower they were lowering the price. We got that bag of books for like $5, and we got
Oh
the
my
and it
word.
was like
Wow.
and it was
Wow.
amazing. And you know what's funny is despite that happening and nobody was like shoving or pushing. Everybody was all calm. We were all laughing in line. It
Oh,
was
that's
like a
good.
great experience. And
Yeah.
That's
you would
cool.
reach out for something and someone reached out for it. Both people were like, "Hey, that's okay. You can have it." Or no one was like
It's not like Black
cutthroat.
Friday.
It was not like Black Friday whatsoever. It was amazing. And
Hmm.
it goes to show you what kind of people go to Hastings versus Walmart at
Oh, yeah.
And see, that's another cool thing about like collecting. Like being a collector is going to those kinds of places and having the experience
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
also. Because
Yeah.
you get to meet other collectors and like discuss your collection. And I do that every year with over at my Asylum Anime deal, and I
Oh,
meet some
okay.
really cool people. And several years now, they've had this giant ad poster, Japanese ad poster for a show called, I don't know if anyone's ever heard of it, Nightwalker Midnight Detective.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And
Oh,
it is
yeah.
the
It was one
original
of
Japanese
the
ad DVD poster,
Oh,
Hmm.
DVD
nice,
VHS poster.
nice.
Okay.
And I've neglected to buy it for literally 5 years now because I found like Macross Frontier stuff
Oh,
and
yeah.
that
Fair
sort
enough.
of thing. And I'm like, okay, this year I think I might try to buy it.
Ooh.
And so when I go out there, I'm just going to be like, if they have it, they have it. Like it was meant to be. If not, it wasn't meant
Right.
to be. But they've had it literally every year.
Hmm.
So I'm like really curious to see if they're going to have it. I'm trying to
You
think
can
of the
send
other
it.
stuff he has. He has a lot of like older stuff. He's got a writing being autographed um,
Oh, Kenichi Sonata.
art poster by Kenichi Osada that he
Yeah. Yeah.
autographed at an anime convention for $2,500.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it's
I miss. Do you guys remember Akadot Retail?
Nope.
No.
no,
Really? Yeah, it
no.
used to be
No.
a store. It was where digital manga publishing came from, and all that. And they did a lot of the naughty culture books, if you will.
Ah, okay.
And but they had a lot of DMP, June, and then of course the spicier ones for both sides. And
Hmm.
you could go to their store in like they had it was like a mostly an office, but they had an inside store inside, and all you had to do was go there. And it was in LA, I want to say. And
Hmm.
yeah, and you could go there, and it was awesome. And the website was decent. They would go to cons and had a booth, and usually you can get like a lot of stuff for really free. They did a lot of the J list items there too,
Oh.
and it was great. But they unfortunately kind of vanished, and this is where my holy grail item is missed because okay,
Uh-oh.
there's a manga called Itazura no Kiss. There's only 12 volumes because the mangaka unfortunately passed away and never finished it.
Hmm.
And so when we were getting the manga, they really weren't saying we were going to get the last volumes, 11 and 12. And then the only way to get 11 and 12 was Akadot Retail, and I was able to get 11, but I cannot for the life of me get 12. And I somehow
Ooh.
missed it because that's when Akadot Retail was starting to die off, so I didn't think they had any more releases until I found out they did release 12, and I
Oh.
can't find that anywhere. And good luck finding 11 too. At least I got one of the two, but
So,
it's
so there's pictures of 12 online that it is actually released.
it was released, but only from Akadot Retail.
Wow.
But nobody wants to sell their copy. I keep trying to wait to find some moron on eBay that doesn't know what they have. But unfortunately, that hasn't happened.
Yeah, yeah. We all have ones like that. We're just waiting for that post to go up.
Yeah, I'm lucky that I have volume 11 because at least it's just one volume I'm looking for, not both. But yeah, you
Mm.
can't find 11 either. You can't
What
find
is
Jeez.
what
11.
is it called?
Itazura, not Kiss. It's Itakis is what people probably remember it as.
Yeah,
But
about the girl growing up to be a nurse with this really cool boyfriend or fiance.
I don't remember the nurse part. But yeah, yeah. But she's like kind of attracted to this guy, but he's kind of like nonchalant about it, and it's a cute little story between the two. I never did finish it, obviously, but and it's not finished to be. There is an anime for it. I think it's like a 12-episode anime, and but
Yeah,
yeah,
from a from Discotheque put it out, I think.
mm, but finding volume 11 and 12 of the manga. Almost impossible at this point. You could find the Japanese version easily, obviously, but so if you guys ever stumble upon a volume 12, please tell me.
I'll be $1,000 a piece. Let's do it. Let's do it.
If I didn't buy Legend of the Galactic's Heroes for 800, I ain't buying that volume for 1,000.
Great, Jeff. There it is.
Uh,
Yeah. Yeah. Occasionally there'll be a case like that where
Yeah.
something is very difficult to get at a time with just like a good example would be the 5-star stories.
yep.
They had Toys Press put out an American release, oversized manga version of it that was out for a short period of time. If you're the this kind of funny story, I thought I had the whole set. And then I started, just because it was gloating one day, I thought I've got the whole set. I said, wait a minute, there's one missing. Oh no, it's a no. That a volume like volume the one volume had two, it only had one. And I was lucky to be able to find it eventually, but that was years ago, and
So,
back now,
has anyone heard of Salaryman Kintaro?
yeah,
Yes.
Lawyer.
So
Yeah.
there's 5 volumes that came out
Okay.
on DVD. The first 4 in the US are really easy to find. The fifth
Yeah.
volume, good luck finding a US copy. You can find a UK copy really easily online, but for a US copy, nowhere to be found.
there's quite a few sets that for whatever reason, volume 5 or maybe the next
Hmm.
to last volume, like volume 6, they're extraordinarily difficult. Just like
Yep.
on the, say, was it called the Galaxy, um, Galaxy Angel Rune 123 is
Yeah. Yeah.
extraordinarily.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
hard
The
to
last
find.
one, the hum
Yeah.
there, you're not gonna find.
Yeah,
I've
that last volume there, it's good luck. They exist. Oh, they exist, and I see them, but no one wants to sell it.
Oh, I know. It's just like this, whatever reason, Bondi at that time only had, they had a limited release window for some stuff. One of them was extraordinary difficult to find. Other ones you're gonna have to buy the whole set, like what's gonna happen with that Moby Dick set. I bet I'm gonna have to buy a whole new set just to get Volume 5, because Volume 5 has become a challenge to find any kind of way. So far, I mean, I've seen them in sets, but not individual, yet.
Yeah, or is it paying? You know how hard it is to find the last 2 volumes of that set.
It cost me $130, but I finally decided to do it.
Mm,
I said, well, I've
yeah.
really seen that one for $200 or you get the whole set for 500. Wasn't really willing to do it. And finally got this guy that was able to talk him down to 135. I said, well, it'd be over with.
Mm,
Yeah, I don't agree with the price, but it's a good copy. It has all the stuff and it's a clean disc. I said, I'll do it. I didn't want. There was this other library copy that came available that it was really rough, even for me. I said, I don't want something that's unbleached and has stickers all over and on the
yeah.
inside artwork's all stickered up. They didn't have the insert. The disc is all lacquered up. I
Oof,
said, no, it's not
man.
worth 100.
Yikes.
It's
No,
not worth.
Yeah. No.
that is
I
not. Now it may be worth like 40 or 50 really, but
not worth zero. It's like a
well,
placeholder.
for
You bought
someone
it.
out there it might be worth something.
pick it off the ground. Wow, look at this! I can't believe it. Put that put that in the placeholder. Find a real
If you just
copy.
need a copy, yeah.
For whatever reason it is, the like you're right, Ed, like volume 5
Mhm.
or volume 6, you'll be finding those to be the kind of like the low circulation one.
For
There'll
DVDs, yeah.
be special sets like on the Funimation when Funimation was moving some sets from ADV to Funi, like the
NHK Volume 6.
NHK,
NHK sets, yeah.
Yeah. The
certain
classic
one, that
example.
one set, that one in there that of the volume 5, it's hard to get. It's
Mhm.
ridiculous. It's a ridiculous price.
Yeah. Man,
Yeah.
I still am thankful I found Volume 6 in the wild for $10. And
Oh,
I'm
of
Probably
holding
NHK.
you want to crow about, yeah.
it.
Yeah, I've got
Can't
volume
believe
6
it.
also.
It cost me more. I think it cost me $200.
Oh yeah, and that's still a good price.
Oh,
Good deal for what I normally see it for. Yeah.
Yeah, surprising enough, still good price.
it's
That's
funny
such.
because you can see
Um,
like eBay listings of Welcome to NHK, and they're like, "Oh yeah, with the box, but it's only volumes 1 through 4,
Yeah,
or like one
yeah,
through 5."
like
yeah,
can
They're
get
like,
each one for
"Okay,
$5,
yeah,
yeah,
but
and
it's
that,
just that one.
yeah, the value is 6. That's really it. In the box.
That's,
Mm-hmm. In
you
the
gotta
box.
have the box in volume 6 to make the set right.
Mhm.
Otherwise, it's worthless.
Yep. It really is like $30 for 1 through 5, really, without the box or 6. So.
yeah, it is."
Those are classic examples. Sometimes a distributor will put out something kind of weird, like the aforementioned what was it, pretty functional Earth Defense Force. They have
Mm.
they have like a limited release. There's another one from ADV that was like that, had a limited release. I forget the title of it though. It's about battle waitresses or something like that. They had like a fan release, kind of like a limited edition fan release. It had a fan little thing going on with it. And I would put out that was the one. And if you grabbed it, then you have it. If you don't, then you have to look around for maybe a higher price. There it is, the evil set again.
Well, if it
You
makes you
know,
feel any better, somebody is selling 12 copies of Volume 6 for $9,500.
me, man, this is ridiculous. This is
Yeah.
a guy on YouTube that he said he always buy another set no matter what. He has 5 or 6 copies of it.
That's just try and flex.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, really. That's so funny.
It is
I didn't
funny though.
know. I didn't know. Koyomi sent that picture of Marin, so I was scrolling up on there. I was like,
Oh, yep.
Well then, Domino.
that face is terrible.
Yeah, it's not a good one, I don't think.
You're not keeping that? What?
Huh? No, I didn't get that.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you
No,
bought
that
that.
that was the link that Brandon had shared
Yeah, I
of
posted
one,
it.
and I
Yeah.
Uh,
was like, oh yeah, that one doesn't look so good.
yeah, that's really oof. Yeah, okay, I see it now. Yeah,
Sad for Illuminasta figure too. They're usually better than pop-up parades. Not today.
yeah.
Okay, here's a question for everybody. Okay. I was actually thinking about this yesterday, but what would be a set or just any kind of item that you bought, not necessarily because you wanted to have it, but you knew it was rare and you
for
had to
the
buy it and you had to
City
buy it.
Hunter. City Hunter. I don't have
City
much of an
Hunter?
interest in it.
Yeah.
The City Hunter is a classic. The Death March I have no interest in, but because it's such a limited release, and yeah,
Yeah,
the
City
City
Hunter
Hunter would
takes
be
a
a
long
classic one
time.
to spend a lot of money on.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
because it's like there's 1 or 2 sets are kind of rare to get.
Mhm.
Like the
90
City
90
Hunter
cents.
91.
Yep.
Yep.
Now not so much because Blu-rays are out, but
It's
that's
Yeah.
still not the DVD version I'm thinking about. I mean,
yeah.
that's like Yurtsi Yatsura, for instance. The
Mm.
whole set is
Oh
with
yeah.
the art boxes are extraordinarily expensive to
The
deal
art
with.
box is
Mhm.
what's really the price there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, my sets don't come with the art boxes. I
Mhm.
did complete the series on all 50, but the sets it just that's too darn expensive for me to get into and try to get some art boxes with it. But
Mm.
you know, it is what it is, what it at, and I'm happy that Discotech put out all the Blu-rays.
which
You
is
know,
really cool.
Yeah.
I like Discotech because I feel like they're making a lot of strides for the anime community.
Hmm.
That like they're licensing a lot of stuff that you wouldn't necessarily be like, oh, they licensed that? Like, really? Like, that's
Yeah.
cool. Oh, they're bringing that on a Blu-ray? Wow, really?
they have
It's like,
become the new
that's
version of
awesome.
ADV. They've become the
Yeah,
new version
yeah,
of
they
ADV.
really have.
You have interesting stuff. They say, you know what, that's pretty darn good to get. Yeah, I
Yeah,
wouldn't think anybody will put it out because they're experimenting.
I
This
love
thing
the vintage.
sticks.
It's
No, they're
like a nice
experimenting with a few,
one.
and then there's another, so it's like they know it's going to sell. You know,
oh
like
yeah, for
Yakura,
sure.
that sells.
Yeah,
Lupin,
easily.
that sells. Case closed in the U.S. Not, that's questionable, but
Which
you know,
is a shame because it's so good.
tell that to to the U.S.
I
market.
know. I have a bunch of the random DVD sets that were like $10 each at Walmart. I was like grabbing them as they
Oh,
appeared.
We
nice.
got here.
Oh, I love those sets for Black Lagoon. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
Black
kind of a
Lagoon.
weird take though, because it's why did they use like a live person, I guess, for that? But
Oh, for Revy, yeah.
yeah, it's like oh, okay, but I like the steelbook idea.
Pretty cool. I like
I
I
do
also like
too.
Black Lagoon too. You know, it's a really good.
I The steel books are really neat. They did
Mm,
it for Hellsing volumes 1 through 4, and
mm,
I wish they did it for the rest of them. That just
yeah,
killed me when they were like, "Oh yeah, we're not going to do it anymore."
yeah. It was weird choice on that too.
I have an odd set to talk about of those. What do you call those Paul Champagne art boxes? You
Oh,
have
I
some,
wish I had one of those.
Oh
you know,
yeah, yeah. The strive to get the three official art boxes for Evangelion, Gasaraki, and I think Bubblegum Crisis was the other
Yeah,
one.
there's also
Um,
was a Rurouni Kenshin one put out. If you remember.
Trigun's got one too.
yeah. The thing
Then
is,
there's
those were unofficial. Like they
Okay,
exist, but they're not licensed per se. But he
right,
did
like
make them. He did make those.
Yeah, yeah.
I like that Gasaraki one, man. That's what I want.
That's the most
there's-
common one,
I
actually.
like the Bebop one. The Bebop one was really cool.
Yeah, the Bebop. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are like if you see those like, and if it's a good price, I would just buy them really because they're beautiful. You
They
know,
are
it's
beautiful.
finding
Oh
them
yeah.
is the problem.
Another good example is of something I made a really bad mistake on. I was looking on eBay. Something I ran into this one looking Orgus set, the Dimension Central, Super Dimension Central Century Orgus sets. It didn't
Mm.
look right. So it was
Uh,
just, what the heck's this? The cover don't look right. I thought this is a pirate. Click, and of course Ed bought it right after that. He
you
picked it up
still
to look
dream
what
about that?
it's like $25 or whatever it was. I was oh my god, I can't believe I gave up that. Yeah, because in Asia they did my subscription only buying disc service, right? So I had
Yeah,
Orgus, Kansai, and
Remy.
Nobody's Boy, something like that.
Yeah, No Boy's
Remy.
Boy Remy. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the
Remy
third
has.
one.
Well, it's only 2009. Was it 2009 that that would become such a big deal?
Mm-hmm.
You know, because only very few people would actually have something like that, and that
Oh
looks
yeah.
like what's this? What's a strange box?
This is from that Paul art
All
box. It's
champagne.
yeah.
Really,
Yeah, it's the 12 it's the 12 Kingdoms set.
I don't recognize
That
that one.
Oh
Yeah.
wow, I never seen that one.
I
That's with
need
the
that.
Blu-rays?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh, I need that. Like
Huh.
now, that's like one of my favorite series. I didn't know they made one of them.
Those must be one of the last ones he made though, if that's the case.
Probably.
Because he doesn't
Yeah,
make any anymore.
Hmm.
yeah, making me jealous.
Right?
Hey, you just
Right?
gotta be have your eyes open if you really want them, because they
Yeah.
will go out quick. Unless they're $1,000 and they will stay.
Yeah. That's
Has
pretty well.
anybody bought this set because the box art was box shape was strange?
What do you mean by box?
Like for instance, on the Scride set, it's a trapezoid,
Oh, those. Yeah, yeah. Or the dot hack sign.
a dot hex
Oh
sign,
yeah, yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
hexagon.
Yeah.
We had the album size, like from Cowboy
Mm,
Bebop and Soul Eater. It had the strange box.
yeah. Or Umaru if you go with Sentai.
Gungrave
It's
had one with
actually
a Velcro opening.
Oh
it's
Yeah,
yeah.
actually
yeah.
part of the appeal of that Lelouch one is that although in closed state it looks, I guess, normalish, in an open state it looks pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You just have to get past the price.
Yeah.
It's like it looks cool, but
It's a
it's a
yeah,
it's a
it's a
priced.
Yep.
It's like Legend of Galactic Heroes. Same idea, you know. It's like how many
Yeah.
people would pay that, so
I guess 1,000 people did.
eventually, yeah.
How many years did it take though?
It took them 2 years to get it
Yeah.
done, but it got done.
Yeah, it was like
I
two.
almost thought that Sentai would. The reason why I didn't buy it, 'cause I thought Sentai would put the individual sets out later.
Yeah, a lot of
It is,
people thought that too.
I said, they're
I
gonna.
really would love to know how many of the Eva limiteds in quotes there are. And I'm
Yeah.
talking about, the rectangular box, not
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
the
I would too. That'd be
one
interesting
that's
to
actually
know.
really large.
the other one
Yeah.
was not limited at all.
The 5,000 release Evangelion set.
No, no, I'm referring to the smaller one, the one that's like 175-ish nowadays.
Oh, the
So,
small one.
so
Oh, yeah, that's not limited at
The
all.
medium.
Yeah,
the
no.
Yeah, the limited one that isn't really limited.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is
the
kind of
standard
sad.
release had a deluxe release. I had that really limited edition 5,000 thing count release. I kind of wish I had more of those like that, but I guess that was one of those things that comes around every 20 years or so.
Yeah.
And
I
now
miss
it's
the day.
Lelouch.
I miss the day of U.S.
Yeah, yeah, pretty
U.S.
much.
storage boxes with single volumes. I
The
wish
starter
that
sets.
I don't know. I just wish they would go away with these collectors sets that are like,
Then
oh, buy the whole series in one
this
DVD
thing, that's
single.
your collector set. That's the limited set. That's that side. I'd like to get the fat ones again.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
do too. I totally agree.
which
Yeah,
is why you buy from
I feel
Japan
like you get more
directly.
value in the money you pay for.
Yep. And going, can you
Plus, at
get
least with the Japanese ones, you get really
the
cool
only way
Oh
you're going
yeah,
to
bonuses.
you
get
really do.
from
Yeah.
Japan.
Hmm.
I can
Yeah.
guarantee it.
I think it's just the mentality of how the American or the outside audience really buys stuff. It's changed over the years. They want the whole set at one point, or at least most of it, because there's part one and part two usually at times. But I
Yeah.
think people just want it in one go.
I'm glad they switched to that, man. I hated getting a DVD and only having like 4 or 5 episodes. When they started doing the whole thin pack stuff, I was like, yes.
But did you remember when it was dub and sub? That was
Oh
specific
gosh,
for
on
VHS.
VHS tape. Oh my
Yeah.
god,
And
yes.
DVD sets used to have moving menus too. You had really fancy cinematic menus, interactive
Oh yeah.
menus, and
Yeah.
hidden features and stuff
Ah.
like that. Now you just get now you just get a splash screen and with some music, and you're lucky. Then in the background.
Mhm. Yeah.
I
One of my
remember.
favorite sets that I have on Japanese Blu-ray that has interactive menus is the Japanese set of Michiko to Hot Shed. It
Hmm.
actually uses, if I recall, I think one of the volumes had like a brick background that was featured in one of the episodes where you navigated through the menu and it was like a spray can.
That's
Oh.
cool.
Yeah, it was
Huh.
really
I
cool.
remember that. You know what I missed for an extra was that it was
Ooh,
like the
nice.
most
Yeah,
strangest.
there's
That's cool. By family. Yeah.
This is the storage box for Spy X Family. You have to fold it together and it gives you instructions.
What?
Not kidding.
What?
Yeah,
What?
the Japanese set. It gives you yeah,
They want you to
instructions on
do
how
it
to fold
yourself.
your
At
own
least it
storage box.
saves shipping cost, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. But
Well, is it?
Well, if you're
anyways,
buying
about
it from
hey,
Amazon, it's still saving a little bit.
Yeah.
Ah, oh,
oh,
that's
it's
cool.
more cool stuff from Spike's family.
Yeah, someone went all in on it.
But yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I've got several storage sets that are like different. Like I said, the Gungrave US Thin Pack set had this weird like it was almost like an oval opening on like the left side of the box, and you opened it, and it was with a Velcro opening.
Hmm.
And then Morabito Guardian of the Spirit had like a harder shell case, but those were thin packs, but they were clear plastic. It was interesting. It was like a Best Buy exclusive
Yep.
storage box.
Yeah, I was going to say that was Best Buy specifically because they had that and
Yeah.
then the regular, thinner box set one, which wasn't
Hmm.
that interesting. But yeah, it's weird how they went all in on that.
It was, yeah, because no, they don't do that anymore in the
Mm-mm.
States, and I
Well,
wish they
besides
did.
steelbooks.
Yeah, besides steelbooks, yeah. So,
Well, I guess steelbooks are kind of cool, but they're still kind of thin. They have multiple stacked discs inside of it. I
Yeah.
really missed the good art boxes. Like, Sentai was putting them out. They were putting really, really good art boxes. It just I think that particular part of the art has been folded. It's going to get maybe one something in the future, and every so often where you used to get the standard set and the deluxe or the limited set.
If
yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it, adding of course adding the DVDs are going to become more and more rare.
Mm.
There'll be occasional releases. That's something that should be relegated to the limited set. You get a standard set for the Blu-ray. You get a limited set with both the DVD and the Blu-ray with extra some stickers and artwork and artboards and stuff like that with a nice chipboard box. That should be what they should focus on.
Well,
Yeah.
sounds
Oh,
like
I
no one's
totally
focusing
agree.
on
The
DVDs.
release of Skip Beat did that for Kickstarter.
I did like how
Mhm.
they
They
did
like,
that, which was
yeah, I do too. Yeah, that was cool. It's a nice
And
chipboard box if you like
mm.
donate a
Cloning
certain amount.
too had a
It's
box.
like the Escaflowne Kickstarter was the same
Oh,
way. It had
yeah.
three different levels.
They
Yeah.
Though
did.
I think
Yeah.
Skip Beat was better done, in my opinion. There's a lot more you can get with it.
Oh,
At least
that's
my
true.
opinion.
You also had a jacket, I think.
Yeah,
So
there was a
I
jacket. There was like a
about
signed poster you could get, and then yeah, right there, and then you get that, which looked really nice. Aw, yeah, look at that. Proud Kickstarter. Yeah,
The boys. That's an anime that I wish got a continuation.
for the manga as well.
Well, the
Poster.
manga's still going,
Oh,
but
is
the
it still going? Oh, okay, I was not aware of that.
yeah, it's like a bajillion volumes long.
Jeez, okay. I'm
But
only
yeah, no.
aware.
Let me see that. Let me see. Skip beat.
here's my set.
Whoa.
I
Do you
got it.
Kickstarter it or do you buy it after?
I bought it from another collector.
Ah.
This guy was getting out of his anime collections. I bought as much as I could out of them.
Whoa. Oh yeah, yeah, look at that. Cleaning up
Because I
Roger.
because I did the Kickstarter for this, I actually got to help subtitle some of the episodes.
Ah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
We get to work through Google Docs, and they gave us some of the scripts, and we got to work through them, and
Hmm.
it was pretty cool. Pretty cool deal.
There are 49 volumes of Skip Beat right now.
And it's still going?
Yeah, it still says it's ongoing.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah, like I said, the anime really does a small portion of the entire story. The story is
That's the phony one.
so
It's
much.
one of these.
Yep.
Oh
Ah, Tenjo
yeah.
Tenge. Yeah, I did like that set.
MJ?
Yeah.
I've only seen the show once. I thought it was all right,
Yeah,
but the
it's
reason why I bought it was because I saw this storage box on display at a friend's house, and I was like, "Oh my God, what is this?" So I went to go watch the show, and I was like, "Wow, this is pretty cool." And then I was like, "All right, I'm gonna track this down." And then I
yeah.
found it at a local anime shop.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you I think Air Gear was another one.
Mhm.
They had it randomly on Right Stuff for like $10, the whole box and everything.
Oh, wow.
And so me and my friend were like, let's get that.
You know, you
So I have
yeah.
that. I don't
Yeah.
think I have the Tetris Ticket box though, but damn, it's beautiful.
No, it is a great box. You should find it,
I got
Dominic.
this version too.
Oh, there's that. That's a good version too.
I got
Yeah.
both.
But
Yeah.
I do prefer the other one though better.
The big
The
box.
What
box,
version
big
of
box.
Roger? What was it?
There's another version of Tenjo Tenge.
Oh, that's cool. I've never seen that one.
I do like that
Yeah.
too. That,
Ooh,
If you
that's
want to
neat.
save space.
yes.
You want
Is that the
to?
DVD?
Yeah, it's
This is
DVD.
a DVD. Yeah, this is from
Okay.
Genon.
It's like a
Genon.
Oh,
weird
okay.
outer box hard case
Yeah,
that's not
that's
really
cool.
used.
Thank you.
I like that.
Yeah, it's pretty.
But yeah, Tango Tango had great music. The plot was where it's mediocre, sadly.
Yeah, sadly. I have both the CMX release of the manga that before they stopped,
Oh
and
yeah,
then
yeah.
the reprinted bigger volumes that were uncensored. I have both of those.
Ah yes, of course. I
Yeah.
keep seeing more of that around actually, funny enough. A lot of people
What
are selling that off.
the CMX ones or
Yeah,
the
the Zwei, the one that Brandon's showing there.
oh, hold on, I moved off of there.
Oh, you missed it. It's
Which?
Mahime Zwei. If you want to show it again.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
What's this?
I've been seeing a lot of those
It's
in the
My
market.
Hime's Vi.
I have been seeing a lot of those too.
Yeah, this is the limited box.
Yeah.
Has like a
Not,
shirt maybe in there or something. It's
Yeah, there's a shirt in here.
yeah,
I've actually never opened it,
yeah.
so
is that a Genon or Pioneer?
it's Bandai
Genon
Bandai.
Namco.
Bandai? Bandai, yeah.
Do you have the other ones, Brandon? The first and second season?
I do not. No, I just have
Ah,
this one.
okay.
Yeah.
I like the first and second because they actually show like the whole class in the very front, and it's kind of
Oh yeah,
plastic.
I like that set. I like that
It's
set. My
like
friend has
a chest in a way.
that. It's big, yeah.
Yeah. Red is for the first, and then blue I think was the second. Otome. So
I think that's
Trigun.
something in the show as well. Oh,
Uh,
that's a Trigun. That's the Trigun art
Yeah.
box.
I'd say the Trigun for Paul Champagne is so much
That's a
Oh,
lot,
I agree. I
lot
better.
wish I
Much
had
better.
that.
of
Whoa, what is that?
Love Hina.
this is
love Hina.
Oh my
Lapina.
gosh.
This is the Japanese import box, but I found
Oh.
Oh,
out it
really?
has all the anime from America inside of it.
So you
This
just
was
got the
That's
box.
actually
Okay.
that's so awesome. Is
That's
that
yeah.
funny.
that's the DVDs, right?
These are the American made American DVDs, a whole set for Lapina. But
Mm.
this is the Japanese art box. I found out that this actually fits the whole series. So I was like,
That's
oh, I'm just
awesome.
gonna grab it.
That's kind
That's
of
So
Oh,
funny.
that's so cool.
that's how you save space.
Yeah, it
that's
is.
how we do it.
That's
Oh
so
man,
cool. I
that's
really
cool.
want to do that with Michiko to Hatchin because they came out in when the show first premiered in Japan. It also premiered in Italy and with an Italian dub. And they released on DVD a storage box with one of the volumes, but unfortunately, it doesn't house all 11 volumes on Japanese release. But I'd love to have it just so I can fit some of the volumes in there. But that is a very clever idea. I really like that set. I love
Thank
the
you.
artwork. That's really cool.
It's just by accident, but the number it says and how it fits simply happens to be the same amount of width. Yeah,
That's not
it so happened to be.
all right, guys. I got to go. Thank you for having me. I will see you guys in the next one.